one here of our grand finals. And at the bottom left in the red, the reigning regional champion. He's the reigning world champion for DKC. It's Oliveira.
And in the top right side, we're looking at the main base with the man who is requesting a tiny pause. So there is a chance that we're going to have to rehost this as we are playing these games, I think, on the Korean server. We're looking at the main base of Mystery Gaming's copy. We'll see if we're going to have to rehost this or if we can just stay within the game. And he is going to play Protoss. Obviously, some of you guys may be wondering, why would you play Protoss? Well, these two guys just both are convinced that Protoss is very good against Terran at the moment, up to the point where Coffee believes that he's got a bigger chance in winning PvT than he has in winning TvT. And honestly, looking at the historic head-to-head BO, he may be onto something because the TvTs have not been very kind to him.
Yeah, it's one of those things. It's like, you know, is this that Protoss is better than Terran? Is this that PvT is really scary in the matchup? Maybe. Or is this the fact that, again, Oliveira or Coffee has not had a lot of success playing these TvTs against Oliveira? He last won a series back in 2017. And, you know, maybe you throw something a little bit different. If you have access to the exact same ideas that your opponent does, and they're better than you, they're probably going to win. But if you have a different win condition, if you play things a little bit differently, make things a little bit cheekier maybe, then maybe you got some from there. Both SCVs get pretty low, but, you know, Probe gonna be only has so much HP, right?
Still a tiny delay on that barracks. I'd feel good about this if I'm Coffee. Coffee's obviously gonna wait until the shields will regenerate, and he's like, maybe I can get lucky one more time, and I can actually get the kill on one of those SCVs. I do always expect a Terran player that is playing Protoss in a PvT to keep the game very simple. Like, I don't think that Coffee is going to go for the most complicated style ever, where we rush out Storm and we basically have 7 units to defend 3 bases and we need perfect defensive positioning. I don't think that's what it's going to be. I expect a low gas style here. Open up 1 gate, fast expand, blink stalkers, and then just go 8 gate zealot charge. You know, like, that's something that a lot of players that are either Zerg or Terran by nature can play Protoss as well. It is a very good style. All you need to do is really survive that first scary push. Then you're gonna have more bases, a better economy, and spamming gateway units. I mean, as much as I would love to say that it's rocket science, you don't really need to be an absolute grandmaster to successfully warp in a lot of stalkers and zealots and take a good fight here and there.
Look, Varadi, as someone who literally got his degree in rocket science, I can tell you that it is in fact rocket science. It's hard to warp in all those LS. No, I get what you're saying, though. And I think that's actually kind of interesting. I talked in the last series about how you see all these Chinese Protoss players, and they are so macro aggressive. The moment that the first push goes down, they're going to take like 2 other bases, and they're not getting cast on all of them. It's just
That's a dead Reaper, I think. Unless it can hop to the high ground, and it does. That's smart by Oliveira. Because 2 hits normally is enough, right? Because then the Shade will finish up, and you always get the 3rd hit off in time. But good job by Oliveira, realizing that there is a safe spot on the right side. And I get what you're saying. Obviously, BO, it's not that easy, right? Not everyone can get in into a good setup and warp in those units and take a great fight immediately, be economically ahead. He's not, however, opening up with the Twilight Council. He's gonna go for the Robo first. And now I wonder, is this one of these 1 gate fast spent Robos into 3 bases immediately, where we know we have a slow and immobile army, but we can get a monstrous economy? Or is he just gonna try to get a quick Robo Bay and then still play Stalkers with Blink and Zealots with Charge behind all of this?
What this might also be is that this is something that Hero's been messing around with a little bit, where it's 3 gate Robo, right? Technically 3 gateways in a Robo, as we see Coffee adding a couple more right now. But you effectively, Warp Prism gives you Blink, kind of. And then you get aggressive on the map, and then you backfill with tech a little bit, and it gives you so much tempo on the map early on that it can be difficult for a Terran player to handle. So for now, that's exactly what Coffee's doing, right? We got a Warp Prism on the way, 2 additional gateways getting added in. And behind this, we should see a 3rd base go up, right? Tech get backfilled. There's the Twilight on the way. But the question now is, how much does Coffee get done with this? 3 Stalkers at a time and a Prism. That could be really solid. But tanks, they're always scary to attack into. There's a bunker there for Oliveira. Eventually, it's not there just now. How much can Coffee get done here?
There's also a Cyclone, and Cyclones can lock on Warp Prisms. Like, this is something that does scream some confidence to me, because this is already a bit more complicated than just opening up with Blink and taking it from there, and just trying to go up to 3 bases. If Coffee plays it very safe, then I don't think he's in any danger of losing this War Prism. But if you play it very safe, you also won't get a lot of damage done. So, yeah, let's see. Wow, he actually goes charge first. That's kind of feisty. So he's going to skip out on Blink. And he's just opening up with a quick War Prism to get some map vision, have a good idea what Oliveira is doing, potentially find some damage, but I don't think he's going to find too much damage. Maybe the Adepts. 3 Adepts is the magical number to one-shot SCVs if all the shots are perfect. They were kind of out of sync there, and that hurt him a little.
They were, but what they did do is they pulled all the bio back into the natural. So in the main base, a couple more workers go down. 3 Adepts, 1-shot in SCV, 4 Stalkers, 1-shot in SCV. And ooh, Medevac should go down here, then pick up Runaway. There's no lock-on available. Locked on a Stalker earlier, I guess. So 4 SCVs go down. Medevac gets knocked out here. And behind this charge is about halfway done. But it's not done just yet. And Oliveira, his stim is ready. He does potentially have a timing to move on the map, but it looks like for now this Warp Prism, these Stalkers, another potential Warp in, is doing a really nice job of forcing him to stay back home.
That actually went really good for Coffee at first. Now he's maybe getting a little bit greedy because he wants the Cyclone. He does not get it at first. He does get every single Marine, and he still saves the War Prism. Coffee's kind of flying. Low-key flying here. 6 minutes into game 1, as he does start off with an 0-1 deficit. And I know you mentioned it before the break, guys. I know that 20-minute break was not very pleasant for all of you. You just start watching StarCraft, then you have to wait 20 minutes. The players were technically good to go, but it's just said in the rulebook that whoever wins the lower bracket finals deserves 20 minutes, should get 20 minutes, so they have some time to mentally get ready and get the well-deserved break in between the series. And so far, it seems that these 20 minutes really worked out well for Coffee. He won a couple games in a row against Nice, and he's playing a really good game against Oliveira. The only thing is that it's just Zealots with charge at the moment. He does not have Blink on the way, does not have a Robo Bay. He is going to have a lot of Zealots, though, because he's going all the way up to 8 gateways now. Coffee is playing really good 7 minutes into our grand final.
Roddy, that's not 8 gateways. That's 10 gateways. He's already got 5 on the map, 5 more on the way. He is just held to the metal of these Zealots. And if Oliveira has one weakness, as we talk about PvT, it's just mass Zealots. That's how Firefly's beaten him in the past. That's how Nanami's beaten him in the past. So it's going to be interesting to see now whether Coffee, this mass Zealot idea, is going to work out for him. That's an 11th gateway getting added in here. Just as much as possible. This is not a good fight, though, through the small choke. Tanks to do a lot, but I guess even as I say that, the Zealot count for now is really high. The tank's going to go down, but man, Roddy, fighting a Terran around a corner like this feels just like the worst possible thing. Into the choke around the corner. That's horrendous for Coffee.
That wasn't very pretty. I mean, he gets the tank and maybe gets a couple of buy units, but he lost 18 Zealots there. That feels like a little much. Oliveira is rallying more units to the other side of the map. Oh, this is a very good choke point, by the way, for Marines and Marauders. But if the Medevacs die, that does mean that eventually all of these Marines and Marauders will die. And Coffee is taking some really ugly fights here. It's a shame because his start was incredibly good. He's now forced to warp in even more Zealots defensively. But he's not transitioning beyond. Like, there is no step or plan B or plan C. It is just, I'm gonna try to win this game with mass Zealots and +1, as these with the 1-shots are pretty good too. If he wants to have a tiny chance, he needs to start warping in Zealots on the left side near that 11th gateway, because we're not gonna win just by warping in Zealots defensively.
This is true. Now remember, Oliveira, he has his 3rd base, but it's not on location just yet. So there is that, right? The economy, it's only not even an orbital yet. It just completed. So economy for Oliveira is not on 3 bases just yet. Coffee could go take his 4th base, but there's the warping you're looking for, Roddy. 10 Zealots. They're now trying to find their way into the natural Warp Prism right side. But is this too late?
Well, technically the timing is good, especially if the Warp Prism can make it into the main, but it cannot make it into the main, as we have a Viking and a couple of Widow Mines, and now it's just a single Zealot in the main. Oliveira's army is in absolute no man's land, though, all the way in the top left side, as now maybe this is the fight that Coffee needs, but Oliveira's paying attention. He's gonna get a couple of decent Widow Mine hits here. It's so many Zealots, though. It's a ridiculous amount. We still have 23 Zealots on the map, but Coffee needs crazy damage here, as Oliveira has a big misclick. Actually, move commands his army into those 23 Zealots, and he's now going to go for the counterattack. I mean, I think this game is going to end in the near future, because Coffee's got no plans at all of defending. He just wants to win here with a good old-fashioned mass Zealot. I think a Guardian Shield and a Force Field on the ramp would be sick. A single Force Field on the ramp to kill all these SCVs would be awesome. He says, no, I don't want to do that. I just want to get into the main. These Widow Mines are going to hurt so much.
With the EMPs as well, just so much splash damage on top of this army. Even still, it's not knocking it down. Coffee's still rocking that army supply lead. Zealots orphaned at home are kind of handling this for the most part. It's not perfect, certainly not, but it's enough to minimize the damage. This is no longer a really a killer base trading army. That force field's no, it's actually not. It doesn't block off the ramp entirely. 38 dead SCVs, the natural force to lift. Third base forced to lift, but it wasn't on the third base anyways. And Coffee, if he even just a recall right now would put him in really solid spot, but he seems like he wants to get a little bit more here. That drop from Oliveira, it's still getting stuff done.
Yep, but this army is still getting stuff done as well. I mean, the drop is definitely still doing its thing, but I think the big fight right now is happening in the natural of Oliveira. As a few more force fields will land, that Widowmine is going to target the sentries, kills one, deals some damage. More SCVs are falling, but Coffee just feels that he cannot win this game. And even if he's on 30 workers against 16, he is going to tap out. That got close. There was potential there. It's a bloody shame that he missed that force field, because if he lands that force field, he doesn't just kill the 30-something SCVs. He kills like 15 more, and then I think he could have gone for that recall. I also feel that if we are that rich, if we have this many bases for so long, why did we never get Blink, man? Like, Blink is so awesome in dealing with drops. If you only have Zealots with charge, you're going to be fine in the fight. You can just never really put a stop. You can never potentially shut down some drop play in your natural, in your main, because it's just going to keep on happening. And the only thing that Zealots can do is just look to the skies and be like, yep, there it goes again. And now we need to chase it to wherever it goes. Like, Coffee had good potential there, even after he took two of the worst fights imaginable on the right side of the map. We went from losing 0 Zealots to 31 Zealots without killing the double drop. Like, that's ridiculous.
Yeah. It's just really a lack of patience, right? There was going to be an opportunity for Coffee to go and fight the Terran in the open field. It's not like there was like one tank, right? So it's not like there's this really scary sieged up position, but fighting through that small choke with the mineral wall, right? Fighting around a corner. There is nothing, Rotterdam, that Terrans love more than fighting your army as it comes around a corner. You're running run by one. They got the full concave there. It feels really, really bad. But, you know, it's another game. It looks like this time, I don't know. Coffee currently has Terran selected. I don't know if he's going to play Terran on Ghost River. Seems more like... Oh, no, never mind. He's going to play Protoss again. Because I was going to say, Ghost River, a map with the naturals as close as they are, is pretty vulnerable to like 2-base, 1-1-1 type of Terran pushes.
What was also very sad about that ugly fight, and I completely agree with you, that there was no need to fight there. Okay, there is one tank. Let's say in worst case scenario, that tank is going to siege up on the right side of your gas at the triangle. Big deal. Who really cares? But because he took the fight the way he did, Zealots are way quicker than sentries. So he had a bunch of sentries, which I love to see, because Guardian Shield is amazing in those fights. The sentries couldn't keep up with the Zealots. So the first 10 Zealots run outside of Guardian Shield. They all end up dying. Then more Zealots end up dying. That was just a little bit unfortunate. Coffee really had a shot there, because the first 6 minutes were excellent. And it's just a real shame that he never decided to get Blink. Like, I like the idea of maybe going charge first, just to deal with those first pushes, or find some damage early if he somehow moves out. But we do still need to get Blink, because if you don't get Blink, you just cannot properly kill Medevacs, and that is a big problem in this matchup.
That it is. So now, the one causing the problems with the Medevacs in Game 1, and now a 2-0 in our Grand Finals. Once again for DKZ, it's Oliveira.
And in the top right side, we are looking at the main base of the man who has once more made it to the grand finals of the ESL Spring Asia Regionals. He did that in the first season. I believe last season it was up to Firefly, but this time around he's back. Wasn't an easy ride for him. Had to start pretty early in the lower bracket, but in the end he is where he belongs. Not playing as Terran though, the race that got him here. He is still playing Protoss. It is Mystery Gaming's Coffee. Asia has been so fun this year, Bio. Like, some of these PvPs, some of the PvTs as well, especially with, I mean, your boy Firefly, obviously not his best season, but Lemon really was the talk of the town, and he was damn fun to watch. He had a lot of great builds, and I love his confidence of just expanding like an absolute mad lad. It's been a really cool season.
Dude, Firefly losing in round 1, lower bracket, I was depressed. I didn't leave bed. I didn't leave my bed for 3 solid days, Rotterdam. That's so sad.
We all believe it. We know how much you love Firefly, mate.
There's a reason that I have all these player cards from Atlanta, right? Most of them are on my shelf back, but Firefly just keeps coming up enough that he's sitting. My Firefly card is sitting on my audio mixer. No bias here, though. You know, we cast everything fair. It's fine. I'm not going to talk about how sad I am that actually neither of these players knocked Firefly out, but in spirit they knocked Firefly out, so I hate both of them. That's how this works.
I have Big Gabriel of Katowice 2023, and of 2024 I got my hands on Raynor. I'm sure that it's a tournament that Raynor wants to forget about real quick, but I'm still happy with my Raynor and Big Gabe card.
So you're all set up for our Raynor Hero Marine matchup later today, right? That's your prop for the series.
Okay, I will deliver, mate. I will deliver. Yes, I didn't even think about it, but sure, I'll hold them up. Production value, baby.
There we go. Although maybe a little out of date. That being said, the Reaper almost knocks the Zealot down, and as this Coffee is trying to get aggressive, moving his first couple units on the other side, delaying any sort of aggression that Oliveira may be going for. And there's a pilot. So we had 3-gate Robo, all right, in game 1. It actually got a lot done. Coffee's going a little faster this time. Just 2 more gateways. He's going for just a solid 3-gate here on the map, taking advantage of just how short Ghost River is. But there's nothing on the low ground here, right, for Oliveira, since Reaper's getting so much done. But so you might say, yeah, this is fine as the Reaper finally dies. Okay, damage is done, but at least I'm going to delay the natural. At least I'm going to kill off. There's nothing on the low ground. There's nothing for this 3-gate to really get.
Is he just going to 4-gate or something? Like, I don't understand what he's doing at all. That often happens when we are watching Terran players or Zerg players playing Protoss, because they've got their own genius ideas that they think Protoss has never thought of. But yeah, this is weird. Maybe that pylon is just there for some warp-ins on the other side of the map, but they're going to be slow warp-ins, and that really doesn't speed things up because this map is not very big. This is not a fight that I think you're going to win with just 2 stalkers. The Cyclone has a lot of micro potential. Coffee is indeed just using that for slow warp-ins. I would love somebody to crunch the numbers real quick. A fast warp-in on the edge of your natural or a slow warp-in at the bottom side of the map. If you save 2 seconds with this, I'd be impressed.
Yeah, but like, consider the fact that there's nothing scouting for Oliveira, so Coffee's avoiding the nothing scouting by coming in from a different angle. Yeah, that didn't really work out all that well. I see the idea if this was going to be a Reaper expand, and I guess it technically was, but it wasn't on the low ground because Ghost River, Oliveira knows how aggressive you can be on it, how scary everything possibly is, so he just doesn't go for it. Now, Coffee, he committed this early. It's a little bit awkward. At the end of the day, right, what have you sacrificed? You got a couple gateways a little earlier. There's a pylon on the map. He's going to go charge anyways, so it's not like he's slowing himself down that much for just a pure charge build. You like the Robo, I guess. That's the big thing. But the other question about this is we talked about how short Ghost River is. It's also fairly choked out between the 2 bases. So this idea of going mass charge slots against the aggression from Oliveira, totally valid. But it's not like there are a lot of big opportunities to try to catch. Oh, this hurts. No, you can't lose those stalkers. And I was going to say, it's like, there really isn't a good opportunity to catch the majority of this army in the middle of the map with a bunch of zealots in a wide open area and get that flank. They're going to siege up very quickly.
This is starting to look like a 3-0 already, and I hate to be a Debbie Downer, but there's just not a whole lot going Coffee's way this game. What has potentially happened here, and I'm just speculating, of course, I cannot confirm this, is that they have discussed this, and they're like, man, Ghost River is actually so annoying playing it in PvT. If they go for the gateway on the low ground, and the first unit walks to the other side of the map, and he doesn't even cancel the Nexus, by the way, that's 400 minerals down the drain. I have the feeling that they have probably both vented about Protoss going for a low ground expense here, and then the first units making their way into the Terran Natural so quick that Oliveira now just thought back of some of those conversations. Is like, yeah, I have the feeling that you're gonna do that thing that you've been complaining about, so let me just go ahead and play it safe. I go Reaper expand on the high ground, and I don't think you can get anything done here, and he really didn't. Game 1 was still kind of fun and exciting because Coffee got himself in a really good spot after the opening with the Prism. Game 2, technically Game 3, I guess, because now it's a 3-0 lead, was a total disaster. Nothing went Coffee's way.
Yeah, I gotta say, I'm a little surprised to see Coffee, of all the maps, choosing to go to continuously play Protoss on, to choose it on Ghost River feels kind of, it's like if you're a random player and you play all 3 races and you choose to play Zerg against Protoss on Crimson Court. It's like, you know, if that's your main race, sure, fine, but that's not a map I would choose to play that race on if I had the choice in the matter. It's quick. There's siege positions. It feels bad.
I sent Oliveira a message because before the series he said, maybe I'll play a PvP if I take the 3-0 lead. And now, well, he has already taken the 3-0 lead, and he's obviously flying. So I was like, so, Oliveira, little PvP, winky face. And he said, okay, let's go, PvP, Rotterdam. And then Oliveira says, yeah, and Coffee is making a smiley face. So I think, and now Coffee selects Terran. Oh,
No.
that would be the great betrayal if Oliveira now queues up as Protoss, and in the last second, Coffee goes back to Terran, and he's like, no, you know how it feels. But I don't think that since they are living together, they are going to do that. It will be a PvP for Game 4 of our Grand Finals, Bia.
I'm gonna say I'm a little sad that we didn't get the Coffee swapping over to Terran with 5 seconds left. Like, too late. But not gonna happen. So PvP Golden Aura Rotterdam. Tell me, as the master of the PvP, what do you think these two Terran players are gonna do?
Yeah, that's a really good question, Bio. How do you predict how a PvP plays out between two Terrans? Maybe one of them goes for the 3-gate robo. Maybe one of them says, I see that MaxPax guy having a lot of success with the 1-gate fast expand, but that's really hard. And there is a lot of stuff that really comes into play to make that work. So I'm expecting just Stalker expands. Stalker expands into Blink. Like, if I think of what would spark joy to a Terran player in PvP, I'd say 2 Stalkers, expand, drop a Twilight Council, we take the game from there. But obviously, your guess is as good as mine, or any guess in Twitch chat is as good as mine, because I have no idea what 2 Terrans will cook up in a PvP.
I don't know, but we get to figure out because once again he's playing Protoss. He's down 3. It's Coffee.
And down 3 versus the man that he is living with. Clearly, these two are very good friends and having a little bit of fun here. Both of them already completed their mission, and that's top 2 in the region. We're going to see them in Dallas, and that's going to be a lot of fun. But they will have a chance to win even more prize money and more EPT points. For, I think, the first time ever, I get to introduce this man as a Protoss. It is the reigning world champion, Dragon Kaisi Gaming's Oliveira.
Roddy, you say for the first time ever, you get to introduce him as a Protoss player. I cannot think of a single map that Oliveira has ever played Protoss in an official before. I may be forgetting something, but is this the first time he's done this?
I mean, somebody might crunch the numbers or dive deep into the illegal leg and be like, I've seen Oliveira play Protoss, but I have not seen it. I do not remember it. Is that Oliveira? We know that he's good friends with MaxPax too. He is one of the guys that actually gave MaxPax a lot of credit before I think the rest of the community truly got on board, and a lot of other Europeans were convinced of his greatness. I think back of when Oliveira won IEM Katowice and he defeated Hero in the semi-finals. He said that he played a lot with MaxPax and that really helped him to get ready to play great PvPs, and he's playing PvP like the Prince of Denmark would too.
Yeah, single gate expand, man. This is ballsy coming at Oliveira. We don't know how much he plays off raise, certainly. But we talked about this in the last series, actually. You talk about how players, if you play a certain style and you play aggressively or do whatever you do, you're gonna be one that has a little bit more idea of how it works. And that's MaxPax in this 1-gate expand. He knows how to every single wrinkle to go hold pretty much anything. Oliveira's off racing. I can't imagine he has the tree nearly as mapped out as well as any Protoss player does. So going this 1-gate expand build, it's pretty ballsy.
He needs another gateway, I think, or he could maybe go for the robo. I do feel that Oliveira has a good idea what Coffee is doing. He probably knows that Coffee wants to be aggressive. At the moment, it's just 3-gateway aggression for Coffee. I kind of feel that if you're 3-gating, you're not expanding, you may as well 4-gate. Like, it's that simple. Either you go 3-gate robo or you go 4-gate. Because Oliveira is now going to have a defensive 3-gate setup himself. With 3 gates versus 3 gates, I would honestly much rather be the defender, because you can build shield batteries too. You have the possibility to drop great force fields. I kind of like this for Oliveira. I didn't think I would like it, but he's got a good idea of what he's up against. I think the defensive build is way better than the aggressive one here. Coffee is doing a 3-gate without a robo, and if you're doing it without a robo, BO, it really should have been a 4-gate.
Really should. And for now, we're also seeing that entry change that actually matters quite a bit. All the stalkers or majority of the stalkers have mostly lost their energy, or mostly lost their shields, so it's a little harder to poke in, buying more time. There's another shield battery on the way, more stalkers warping in, and even as these stalkers try to dive on top of something, the target fire is not quite where it needs to be, so with overcharge certainly as well. Oliveira's starting to get more units out. He's building this concave, more shield batteries, more pylons, and Coffee. He's turning this into a 3-gate robo. Right, there's a robo on the way behind it, but that feels so late.
It is a little bit late. Now we are going to try to create some chaos here with 2 adepts potentially shading into the main, but Coffee is not going to be able to get in there as Oliveira wipes in a pylon on the high ground. Oliveira has been incredibly ambitious, I would say, with his warp-ins, and I felt that Coffee already missed 2 opportunities to kill a Stalker that was warped into the front lines. At the moment, Oliveira is flying, man. He's up 10 workers. He is basically matching the army every step of the way. Coffee is in all sorts of trouble. The second overcharge is going to be ready in the near future, but I don't even know if we need a second overcharge. We've got a superior concave. We've got a similar amount of units, and Coffee, with world's latest robo, is gonna have to do something with it. And he says, you know what? I'll build an Immortal, I guess. I would almost say, Bio, that the better play would have been here to drop a Robo Bay immediately, because Disruptors have a lot of potential against gateway units that obviously cannot be saved by a Prism or cannot blink away.
That would be pretty fun, but for right now, we're going to see another force. It doesn't quite land, but it does get a damage on the Stalker, and behind this Oliveira, he is getting to that next level, right? There's a Twilight on the way. He's got such a bigger economy that really... The longer this goes, the much better it is for him. Getting charged, even just getting charged because it's a quicker upgrade would seal the game. But for right now, with the Immortal, force fields are they're making a couple Stalkers unable to fight, but it's not really doing a ton. And shield battery overcharge means that this is just not finding the value once. Now we're gonna see the Immortal get blinked down, sentries. Sure, the Stalker count's gonna, and the Zealots are gonna force back under the aegis of an overcharge. But Oliveira, he wins 2 maps as Terran. Last map is Protoss, and he's your champion. It's 4-0.
It is 4-0 once more. The hat-trick of victories when it comes to the ESL Masters Spring Asia Regionals. Well, back then we had a summer and the winter, obviously. This is the first time that he wins spring. Convincing. A little bit disappointed by the PvP. I had high hopes. I thought this was going to be awesome. I don't exactly know how you mess up the one base all-ins, whether you're a Terran or a Zerg. It kind of feels that